familiar with the concept of evolution?
Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, or KOTPOTA, is the... Holy shit. 10th movie in the series, and it is the first since 2011 not directed by Matt Reeves, the guy that went on to make My Chemical Batman. Those three newest Monkey movies are criminally underrated in my opinion. 9, 8.5, 8, and they're one of Hollywood's strongest modern trilogies about sentient apes. So how does this new shit stack up? I'm here to tell you it is the poster child for good enough. Welcome to the show. When it was announced they were going to continue making the Monkey series with Wes Ball, the director of the Maze Runner movies, I had my doubts. I was really excited for this. I loved Matt Reeves' films, but Planet of the Apes is kind of a weird IP, and I wasn't convinced that tyrannical talking monkeys is a premise that could sustain a whole new series of good movies. I said good movies. Perfection. The broad strokes of this are that it's pretty solid in the beginning and middle, but falls apart at the end, and we'll have to break down the plot to find out why. Many centuries after the death of Caesar, the film opens with a young chimp named Noah during his climb to grab some eagle eggs. Him and his two friends are going to do their egg-related adulthood ceremony the next day, and their clan breeds and trains eagles. It'll be important later. Noah gets his egg busted by a human girl stealing their fish, and he goes out looking for a replacement egg before his big egg day. While poking around alone at night, he accidentally leads a group of violent bad guy monkeys back to his clan, where Noah's apekin are all killed or captured. This is Noah's call to adventure, and it kicks off the second act. Couple notes from the beginning. The movie is visually terrific. Overgrown buildings and man-made structures are barely recognizable, and many have been repurposed by eagles and apes to suit their needs. The motion capture on the actors playing the ape characters is really impressive too. Their emoting and face acting is distinct, and we get a clear sense of character from all the chimps, gorillas, and orangutans, without needing their personalities explained to us. I also enjoyed that the apes have different levels of speaking ability. Noah and his friends speak a stumbling broken English, but the more well-read apes we'll meet later on speak in full sentences and use longer words. Oh, and Noah can't get a handle on his dead dad's bird, but that'll come back later.
I want my bird.
The bad guy monkeys turn up and fuck up Noah's clan. One of them says, "For Caesar," planting a story seed for later on. Okay, moving on. Noah swears to his father's grave that he will bring their people home.
I will find them. I will bring them home.
Noah sets off on his journey with a horse and the human girl dogging his trail. Along the way, Noah falls into a homestead of an eccentric orangutan named Raka, who preaches the way of Caesar, and that once, long ago, humans and apes lived in harmony. Raka tries to impress upon Noah that the way of Caesar has been corrupted by those bad guy monkeys, and that Caesar expressly forbade ape-on-ape crime. They do an Apes Together Strong callback to the Matt Reeves films. The human girl that broke Noah's egg reappears and begins traveling alongside Raka and Noah. Like all humans, the girl is mute, and Raka takes pity on her, giving her food and a shawl. Also, when meeting Noah, Raka shows empathy, gesturing to a burning ape skeleton, saying, "He was my village." Possible gay orangutan aside, I thought this was a funny moment where the movie begins to show its hand in that there's too much in here for it to all have meaningful payoff. Raka never seeks revenge, never has an emotional moment over this loss, never does anything except be Noah's Obi-Wan. Human Girl and Noah have a cute scene where we see she is considerably smarter than Noah had been giving her credit for. The gang has their mission, and the three of them set off towards trying to discover the encampment of the bad guy monkeys. So we're about halfway through the second act at this point, and it's all been very solid. It's a by-the-numbers hero's journey, but that's fine. Not every film has to reinvent the wheel. Through this point in the film, I have no major issues, but that will change pretty shortly. Raka, Noah, and Human Girl run into a pack of wild humans, and the girl shows no kinship toward them, looking at them with sympathy as one would an animal. Then the bad guy monkeys show up and start trying to capture the humans, specifically the girl, who is important to them for a reason we don't know yet. The reason doesn't actually turn out to be very important, but doesn't matter. They don't know which of the humans is the particularly smart girl, but they figure it out, probably because she's the only one wearing pants, but we'll get to that in a minute. Human Girl runs from bad guy monkeys and stands up to call out to Noah, revealing that she can speak. This is a great little callback to the Reeves trilogy, where the first word Caesar says is no. This girl says, Noah. It's a good callback, lots of fun. The trio escapes and sets up camp. That last scene is probably the best part of the whole movie, and unfortunately, now things are going to start to get a little wobbly in the story department. So if you aren't all caught up, here's how things work in the Monkeyverse. The medication that James Franco was testing on Caesar in the 2011 movie turned him super smart. So Caesar sprayed his buddies with the monkey mist so that he would have someone to play chess with. The mist has the opposite effect on humans, making them stupid below the threshold required for speech. This mist became a pathogen that spread across the world, making humans dumb and apes smart, essentially destroying humanity over the course of many generations. So everyone's first question when they hear Human Girl speak is probably, why can she talk? Not only can she talk, but she's clearly educated on the way the world used to work, meaning she comes from a civilization where humans can speak and teach each other history. This gets hinted at in the end, but never really explained. I don't really mind this, I just assumed some people are resistant to the dum-dum in the air, but if they ever mentioned it in the film at all, I totally missed it. Moving on. So the human girl's name is May, and May tells Noah that she was following him because she knows that his clan are being taken to a certain ex-human settlement and she wants to go there. This makes sense. May then explains she knows where the settlement is. Raka and Noah, you just follow me there. This doesn't make sense. Why would she be following Noah to find out where the settlement is if she already knows where the settlement is? Maybe this is to have a chimp that trusts her later on when she needs to be shuttled up a cliff face to enact her plan, but May is pretty clearly anti-monkey and doesn't trust any of them. Saying this is her reason for following Noah goes against her character completely and would require her to be planning extremely far ahead in the story. She's even shown later to have knowledge of a map of the settlement, so it would seem that she has some sort of plan. So it makes even less sense that she's following Noah around. The more likely explanation for May following Noah is that the writers wanted her around and shut up. Also, May says that she stays silent for her safety, but she also wears pants, so I guess she's not that smart. Moving right along. May knows the way to the place where Noah's clan are being held. She leads them there, they're confronted by the raider gang of bad guy monkeys. Raka gets killed, Noah and May, oh yeah, spoilers, Raka gets killed. Noah and May are captured and the third act begins. The settlement turns out to be a large ape encampment by the ocean, most of it built into a beached and rusted out aircraft carrier. It looks awesome, but this is also where the story takes a hard turn into Stupidsville. The leader of this ape society is Proximus, who delivers a passionate speech that relies on using the words of Caesar like a prayer or rallying cry. This is the "What a Wonderful Day" scene from the trailers.
What a wonderful day!
This speech demonstrates massive missed potential in the story. Proximus loves Roman history, something we are told but never shown, and has instilled a religious worship of Caesar in his followers. Proximus uses Caesar's best lines to back up his desire to forward ape kind by opening a human vault that is sure to house valuable weapons or resources. After Raka had explained what Caesar had been about, Proximus's interpretation of Caesar's scripture is clearly wrong and being used to justify monkey fascism by the sea. This is by far the most interesting idea the film has, but it doesn't go anywhere. We never get an explanation as to how Proximus interpreted Caesar, or why Noah believes Raka was correct, or how one of their ideologies is superior. They plant that Caesar seed in the very beginning, and it feels like the movie's going to be about how the word of even a benign ruler could be twisted and corrupted through centuries and the desire for power. This is a really interesting idea, and it has strong parallels to real-world religious extremism. But the movie just drops it completely in favor of a third act where everything explodes. The climax of this movie doesn't involve two apes clashing over the merits of their perspectives on ape history. or how best to progress ape kind, but is instead a fistfight featuring birds. You see what I mean about missed potential? The seeds of something very interesting are here, but the whole third act just feels half-baked. To make a comparison, in the climax of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, Caesar has a fight with Koba, who represents revenge against the humans. Koba was a lab rat of an ape, and because of what was done to him, he doesn't believe that a lasting peace with humans can ever be possible. Caesar, who was raised lovingly by James Franco with an intact reputation, feels that peace requires placing faith in humans that, although risky, is preferable to an all-out war. Their conflict represents the difficult choice between violence that may result in a costly peace and an uneasy peace contingent on trusting unreliable people. In Kingdom, the conflict is between an ape that wants more power and an ape that wants his family back. Look, I'm not saying that Kingdom sucks balls or anything, but compared to the Matt Reeves films, it just isn't particularly nuanced. Kingdom tries to make the conflict about fascism, but doesn't elaborate beyond the Roman thing. And then late in the game, it starts introducing the idea that humans are untrustworthy. Despite May being pretty communicative with Noah throughout her plan to recover a hard drive from the vault. I guess I didn't talk about the third act a whole lot, but there's really not much to it. There is an attempt to tie Raka's version of the Caesar Gospel to Noah's ability to handle his father's bird, but it's very silly. Noah says Proximus's law is wrong, and the bird lands on Noah's arm, completing his character arc. Maybe we should call it Noah's arc. So the climax is Noah and May flooding the vault. Noah distrusts humans now, May gets her hard drive, and the bad guy gets pecked off a cliff by some birds. Noah gets a scene where he stares directly into the camera and complains that humans aren't trustworthy and all they want is to consume, and it comes off preachy as hell. Big Coco the Gorilla vibes. In the very end, we get a scene where May delivers the hard drive to an old satellite dish facility. The facility personnel have a strict quarantine procedure with radiation showers, which made me wonder again why May can talk. The facility people use the hard drive to establish a connection to another part of the country, which sets up a sequel. And if I were feeling really punchy, I might guess that this is where May is from, and that could explain why she knows where this place is, but also maybe why she was wearing pants earlier. It would not really explain why she appears to be immune to the dum-dum in the air, but I can't remember how long it takes to affect a person, so maybe this is canonically accurate. Editor's note, this is canonically accurate, so I really do think that my guess is correct. The problem is not that this doesn't make canonical sense, the problem is that this is not communicated to the audience and doesn't affect the stakes of the movie at all. If my inserted reason is true, then May is a goddamn hero that willingly took on what is essentially a suicide mission to save her people that she knew would turn her into a mute over time. It's too bad that this isn't more of the focus of the story, because this suicide mission to recover a piece of hardware that allows the people to communicate with each other across the country is a really interesting idea, but we don't understand any of the potential for May's storyline until the very end, and even then it's just an implication to the audience that this is what she was doing the whole time, and not something that was part of an emotional character journey for May. If this is what is intended with May's character, it is not made clear at all. I know this is coming off really negative, but that's because all the narratively weak stuff is packed into the third act, so that's what I remember the most. The movie is overall very strong in the first and second acts, and then falls apart in the third by trying to do too much with the last 45 minutes. It looks great, it's got clear emotional stakes, and it's only kind of dumb. Usually when I see a new movie, I try to avoid spoilers and reviews to form my own opinions. After seeing a film, I try to give it a score of my own before checking to see what critics and audiences had to say. Obviously, critics and audiences usually have different tastes, and I find that my personal score tends to be right in the middle of those two. I'm going full contrarian mode today. Kingdom is getting more credit than I think it deserves. It's a fine movie, I enjoyed it, and I'm confident I will have forgotten about it before I'm done editing this video. 7 out of 10, it's a low 7. If we were doing decimal scores, it would be 7 on the dot. Thank you very much for watching.